Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. Another paid request. This time for Ronald. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos or topics, reactions, tier lists, re-reviews, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal, which is usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 2000 film Remember the Titans. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the phone to look at the cast. Now, I've heard of this film a lot throughout the years. This is not going to be a popular opinion or video. I didn't like this film. I thought this film... There are football films I enjoy. Any Given Sunday is my favorite. I even like Necessary Roughness. Let me put it this way. When I die, if any of my friends decide to sing na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye at my funeral, I'm going to come back from the grave as a ghost. I'm going to kick your ass. That's what I'm going to do. They'd rather sing it in a very sullen na 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 na, hey hey hey, goodbye. I'm like, I don't care how moody and sullen you sing it. My ghost is coming back to kick your ass. This film just came off as a Lifetime Channel Hallmark movie, after school special, with some really good actors. Kind of made sense that Disney's in front of, the Walt Disney Logo's in front of this movie. It was really corny. It was a lot cornier than I thought it would be. And it has a good cast. Denzel Washington, who does a good job like usual. Love him as an actor. I mean, Virtuosity is my favorite of his, but Glory, Deja Vu, Unstoppable. He's a damn good actor. I like his stuff with Tony Scott, Man on Fire, Crimson Tide. Yeah, I even like The Pelican Brief with him and Julia Roberts. Denzel's a great actor. Will Patton, another actor I enjoy. He was in quite a few films. Armageddon being one of them. Ethan Suplee, where I remember he was in Mallrats. He definitely lost a lot of weight and doing fairly well nowadays. A very, very early Ryan Gosling is in the film. Donald Faison, who I've enjoyed in other projects. Kip Pardue, which I actually thought he did better here than he did in that film Driven with Sylvester Stallone. I think even the little kid who's the daughter, Will Patton, I think this Hayden Panettiere, who would be in Scream 4 and Scream 6 and all that stuff. But the movie's pretty much football beats racism, the movie. Football cures racism. Now, it's based on a true story, and I do this because if you look up, apparently the actual coach Denzel plays, a lot of people have said he was actually an asshole. The coach, he was an asshole. He treated everybody like shit. But now this movie has made him a martyr, a saint, when he wasn't. So, I mean, based on a true story, where Denzel and his family go into this town in the South, and he's going to take over the team, who Will Patton was coaching the team, but now he's going to coach the team. And of course, it's a southern town back in the 70s, and there's racism, there's racial tension, but it's, at the same time, this is still released by Disney, and so, okay, we're going to do that, but it doesn't feel much tenacity, much in-depth. It's definitely no... I mean, I didn't think it'd be Mississippi Burning or anything, but it just came off, again, almost like a glorified after-school special. It just felt corny. And hey, maybe some of the stuff really did happen, but it's still the way it's done, the way it's filmed, the way it's performed. Maybe the coach really did take the team to the Gettysburg Cemetery. by the end, it just comes off as really melodramatic and silly. And is trying to have all these characters, but okay, here's the white guy who's the captain, and here's the guy who's the black guy, and then they become friends, but I barely even understand why. Okay, maybe they start liking each other, but when it gets to the fact that, spoiler, the guy gets to a car accident and he's paralyzed, and the other kid is, we're gonna grow old together, and I'm like, are you guys soulmates? I get that you're comrades in arms, but you guys, after these brief bits we've seen you two together, and some of that was you guys fighting, now you guys are acting as if you guys are soulmates. Or why was Tip Pardue pretending to be gay, but then he's not gay? Just like people think he is, and then he even kisses the captain on the mouth. And Donald Faison's trying to ask, and Tip Pardue's like, what does it matter to you? But then I guess he's not, or nothing ever really comes of that. And the town, is very much racial tension, but then just when they're winning football games, then most of the town does a 180. There's football. And there's stuff of if Denzel loses, he'll get fired. Will Patton at one point sees that they're cheating them on the game and calling fouls that shouldn't be called, penalties that shouldn't be called. So Will Patton threatens the referee, you call it right or I'm going to tell everybody. So because Will Patton stood up for Denzel, he won't be in the Hall of Fame. His daughter, Hayden, I like her in that Until Dawn video game. She was fine in Stream 4. She was really annoying as this kid. And I get that they were trying to be, okay, she's a little girl, but she's trying to act tough and tell the football players what to do. I'm like, lady, they don't take you, they don't use you as a football, they don't tip you through the field goal. Sit in the stands and shut up. Stop yelling. And again, there's all these little things that they put in that don't really go anywhere, like the captain realizing that his mom might be racist. We're going to church. But then nothing ever comes of that. Whether it be the guy talking to the other guy about his mom, or making the mom introduce her to this guy and see he's just a regular guy. There's nothing wrong with him. Or there's a lot of singing and dancing. The camaraderie is them singing. And this happens like 3 or 4 times. Either Ethan Suplee singing with the guys, or there's even a bit where before a game they all do a fucking dance routine. That kind of stuff maybe works in The Replacements, which is a film I like, with Keanu Reeves and Gene Hackman and Jon Favreau, Orlando Jones. I like that movie. But that movie knew what tone it was. We're a goofy, silly movie. And then it didn't just go... Although also we have this very serious racial tension-filled movie, but then we have this very goofy Disney comedy. And also the football sequences aren't that interesting. Maybe I'm just... Any Given Sunday kind of made me go, you know what? A lot of... These scenes are so well filmed and so much like... That's more my kind of football movie. Maybe that's what it is. There's some Any Given Sunday guys like me. I'm gay for Any Given Sunday. I know, I'm sucking its dick. I know. And then there's some who Remember the Titans guys. I get it if you liked the film and it uplifted you and you felt that, yes, you could cure racism with football. Great. This is not for me. It just wasn't my cup of tea. At the end of the day. Ethan Suplee, his acting seemed to be fairly natural. And I didn't mind his acting. Some of the other people, like Denzel, did fine. But I mean, I would say just fine. There's other performances I liked that he did. If I looked at Denzel's filmography, I got, and I mean, I know I got a phone here, but my computer looked it up real quick. Again, I know people get mad, and okay, if they love the film, they grew up with the film, they cherish the film, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. We just have a difference of opinion. It's not against the law, at least not yet. Again, that just isn't for me. But yeah, I looked at Denzel's filmography. Glory, I like more than this. Ricochet, I like more than this. The Pelican Brief, Philadelphia, Crimson Tide, Virtuosity, Courage Under Fire. I thought films like Courage Under Fire and Philadelphia dealt with the serious themes a lot better and stronger. Okay, I'm not a fan of Fallen. I'm not into He Got Game. I like The Siege. I don't mind The Bone Collector. I like Training Day. I didn't mind Out of Time. I like John Q. Man on Fire. Inside Man. Deja Vu. Take Your Pill 123. Unstoppable. Wasn't a fan of The Book of Eli. Wasn't a fan of The Manchurian Candidate. Tragedy of Macbeth wasn't for me. I know he's doing Gladiator 2, which I never thought that would get a sequel, but okay. But yeah, I would say my favorite films of his would be Virtuosity. Like I say, Deja Vu is up there. So Ricochet's a pretty... I liked Inside Man. That's probably the only Spike Lee film I like. So weird they're doing a Gladiator 2. And Ridley Scott's directing it. November 2024. It's so weird. Like, of all the films to get a sequel, I don't get it, but okay. Anyway, so I mean, I know a lot of people like this film. That's good. Good on them. It doesn't matter if I wasn't really big on it. It was a big box office hit. It's, let's see, critics 72%. It may be predictable. I mean, it is predictable, but I don't know if that's a fair thing to say. But you could say almost any football film or any sports film is predictable. And the fact that either they win or they lose. It's 50-50. And more than likely they'll win. More than likely. And it has 7.89 to be, so a lot of people love it. It just... I think the seriousness of the racial tensions is not well constructed in the point of... It should really give you the deep, serious feels of good and bad. But again, it just felt like... sometimes it felt a bit sugar-coated. Disney-fied. And also, some folks felt like they just changed too quickly their opinions. Okay, they won a few football games and now they're mostly peachy. It just, I don't know how else to put it. It just did not do much for me. Like I said, if people like the film, that's fine. If people love the film, that's fine. It just, like I said, not for me. Maybe if Disney didn't make it, and maybe it was another studio where they could, I don't know, be a bit more... bit better written. The whole racial tension stuff going on in the movie. Like I said, just not for me. Like I said, if you guys love it, that's cool, but I will stick with Any Given Sunday. I probably say I even like Varsity Blues more than this, to be honest. So let me look up trivia for this. It just it did culminate in that whole ending where it's supposed to be sweet and it's supposed to be powerful. That's the thing. It thinks it's a powerful message movie, but for me, I think it falls really, really short. And again, the football scenes aren't that exciting. It doesn't help that even since Boaz, the director, knew nothing about American football. So no wonder the scenes are, they don't really have that zest or energy or excitement in the football sequences. I'm sure some of this is true. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure some of it is true, but okay, Gerry was injured in automobile. Okay, the kid that got paralyzed, he was injured and paralyzed, but this did not happen until after the regular football season was already over. He played in all 13 games. It was not due to being hit by another car. He lost control of his vehicle and crashed to a utility pole. Mechanical failure in the engine's motor mount. Hmm. But they really did go 13-0 during the 1971 season. So. Like it's hard is in the right place. And like I said, people like Denzel and Will Patton and Ethan Suplee, they do their jobs pretty decent, pretty well. And it means well. And like I said, if you watch the film, you get uplifted from it. That's fine. It just, again, the whole thing just sounded, it just was very corny. Like I said, that ending with them in the cemetery singing "Na na 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 goodbye." I'm like, what the fuck, really? I would think that'd be a bad taste. Again, if you've seen that at my funeral, I'm gonna be pissed and come back and haunt your ass. So also the historical accuracy of this. Yes, of course, that documentary. In the movie, the coach states, "We are not like all the other schools in this conference. They're all white. They don't have to worry about race. We do." This is false as well. All the schools the Titans faced were integrated years before. The team did go on a tour of Gettysburg, although it was not as dramatic as portrayed in the film. The Ronnie Sunshine bass, Kip Bardu played him. He said, "The kiss with Jerry never happened." Yeah, they just added in there. It doesn't really lead anywhere. The Where Are They Now also admits the primary cause of the coach's retirement. He was fired from the school due to allegations of player abuse and coach complaints. That's the character Denzel Washington plays. So, well, of course they omit that. So this guy could have abused players, but now he's looked at as Martin Luther King Jr. yeah, just again, yeah, overly sentimental, manipulative, predictable, and corny. I agree with that. That's just how it felt for me. It felt like, I don't know, I was watching Patch Adams again. Well, maybe it's not as much as Patch Adams, but that's what it felt like. That kind of feeling, like this is corny, like what, overly sentimental type of stuff. That's just my opinion. Like I said, I prefer Rudy. Any Given Sunday is my favorite football film. If you like the film, Teach Throne, just not for me. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.